Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back with you, and I'm so excited for our interview today. And these old school interviews have been so much fun this season. We got another banger here today. We have, of course, with us the great three-time survivor. Please welcome Kelley Wentworth. Kelley, how are you?
I'm good, Rob. How are you? Always a
Yeah,
pleasure to be here.
delighted. I'm delighted to have
Good.
you here to talk some Survivor because you are so active on all of the social medias that you have really, not just as a Survivor player, but as a Survivor commentator, that you are doing skits. You are really just doing everything.
Yes, I do. I like to have fun. I really do. It's such an interesting position because when you go on Survivor and you're a player and you're a contestant, you're kind of like you have a different perspective. But then when I come back and I've been out of the game for so long, I'm just a fan again. I just want to talk about Survivor as if I was never on Survivor. I like to do behind the scenes stuff and things of
Mhm.
that nature too, but I like to just yap about Survivor. I like the little community. I like to respond to comments. I try to be very active. I want to have a discussion around it. I always love different perspectives as long as people are not too mean because then I will block you. I
Okay.
have no issue with that. Okay, we don't have time for all that. This is a
If they're
safe
too
space.
mean to the other contestants, you will block people.
No to me.
Yeah. Oh, okay. They
I'm very selfish. No.
Yes.
If they
Yeah.
come in hot and say mean things to me, I'm like, bye. Like, you don't deserve to be here. But
Hmm.
I really do love it. It's fun. And I just started doing the Survivor kind of reenactments because I was noticing people doing them for other shows and no one does them for Survivor. And luckily, Survivor 47 was the perfect entry because there were so many funny moments. I was laughing hysterically every episode of Survivor 47. I loved everybody on the season. So it was a great opportunity. This season I am it's been a struggle, not going to lie to you, Rob,
Yeah.
but I'm doing my
Yeah. Well,
best.
you always keep it real. And I'll
Yeah.
talk about all of the thoughts for Survivor 48, but catch people up in case, we see what you're saying about Survivor, but what's going on in your world?
What's going on in my world? I always feel like that's such a hard question because it's not a hard question, but I live a very simple life. I just have a normal job. I work in marketing. So that's always fun. I wear many different hats. It's different every single
Not just when
day,
you make TikToks.
not just when I make TikToks, but I will tell you that does give me a unique perspective in my job because I see both sides of it. Like I see the business side of it in terms of when I'm working with brands and let's say they want to find influencers or they want to do social media campaigns. As I myself would say I'm an influencer, I understand kind of both sides and the mentality of both sides. So I feel I'm able to just provide a unique perspective in different discussions. So I enjoy that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I have 3 dogs, which keep me very busy,
Yeah.
very busy. The one has to get exercise all the time. So I'm out with him pretty much every single day doing at least one walk. And then what else? I don't know, just other little cool things that are coming up. I'm kind of in my embrace anything year 2025. I said any opportunity that comes up I'm going to do it. So I got to go to Notre Dame and talk to some
Yeah.
students there about Survivor. That was so fun.
I saw that.
Yes, it was amazing. I before this year I probably would have said, "Oh, I don't know." But I'm like, "No, I'm going to do it." And then I did I was the keynote speaker at an event here in Seattle. So I've just been embracing just doing all the
Wow.
things. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Well,
love
I
it.
love that for you. And
Thank
I
you.
wonder how many other things you're going to get asked to do now after you said that.
I don't know. My DMs are open. My email's open.
Yeah.
Call me.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's get into some Survivor 48. And
Okay.
I had watched one of your videos this week where
Oh,
you talked about
okay.
how the situation with the idol of that
Yes.
and just to go back to it because it's Monday when we're recording this, people may not remember Wednesday so great, but Eva won the challenge and they had the place settings at the reward. And at first it looked like people were like, oh, wait, did they just put it in front of Eva? But then the clue said, hey, or congratulations, you won the challenge. So you get the clue for the idol. And so you made a video this week and you talked about how that was something that you really did not care for.
Yes, correct. I want to say, first of all, that I'm seeing a lot of hate online towards Eva specifically. And everyone should understand, Eva did not choose to be given this advantage, whatever it may be. So I do think that that has been a little disappointing, because we should really be looking at production, if anything. So I just wanted to say that. But the reason that I don't like it, and I'm going to do my best to explain it, and hopefully you'll stick with me and follow along. So in other situations where there are advantages or idols placed, let's say it's at camp or at a challenge, typically if someone doesn't have a clue and it's kind of a free-for-all, we would know that that has already been placed by production, right? Like we would know it's already been placed. There's already an opportunity for it. The reason I'm not a huge fan of the one at the taco reward is that I do feel like it opens up the question of, they could have potentially not placed it depending who won. Like there's just more of kind of a selectivity, I guess. And so that's where I kind of start, asking the questions. I obviously know that they have planned this ahead of time. They have the schedule. But just for me, I just like things when I know that they were already placed. Even at a challenge, I had to say, well, it's no different than Rachel getting it at the reward or at the auction. Or it's no different than someone sitting out at a challenge and it's underneath the bench. And although I appreciate that conversation and I see your point, it is kind of different because when someone sits out a challenge, they may know that it's going to be at the bench. It's already been placed there, and people can kind of almost strategically choose to sit out or not sit out in the hopes that it's there versus being handed it. And does that kind of make sense? Like what I'm saying?
Totally makes sense. And I thought that really it speaks to, in my mind, that the entire purpose of the hidden immunity idol. And that's why I was so excited to be talking to you, especially this week, because I feel like that the way that, of course, your famous hidden immunity idol play in Second Chances was the epitome of how fans, I think, see the idol as an opportunity for, here's somebody who's on the outside, who has an opportunity to really flip the game and change things because they find the hidden immunity idol. And so in this case, in this particular instance where you had the person who won the challenge, and yes, so an underdog might go on to win the challenge, but it just so happens that the majority in this season happens to be the people that are winning the challenges. So it makes it even harder for there to be that moment where somebody that we're rooting for at the bottom is able to get the hidden immunity idol and ultimately change what's happening in the game.
Yes, that's another part of it that I did not like, that I expressed in that video, is that it does feel like the people that are strong are getting stronger and the people that are weak are getting weaker. Because not only that, the people that lost had to go do this game, which people are comparing to Mario Party or some Mario game. I don't know.
Do you play any Mario Party?
I do not play Mario Party. I played Mario Kart quite often when I was younger, but not Mario Party.
Yeah.
So
Mario Party is a little bit of a sore subject for me because I that it's fun and I play it with my kids, and I just bought them the freaking new one and they never play it. Mario Party Jamboree. We played it one time.
What, did they just not like it? Is it not as good as the other ones?
They'd rather play other games. I'm like, I bought it so that we could all play it together because we play 4 players, and not interested.
Wait, what do they like to play? What's their game of choice?
Well, we just went to go see the Minecraft movie. So Minecraft has made a really big comeback in the last couple of weeks.
Okay, fun. Do they play that game where I'm not a gamer, I'm sorry, everyone, where they drop the 100 people in the little land?
Fortnite?
Yeah, see?
Yes,
See how quickly you knew what I was talking about?
So my older son is more in the Fortnite.
Okay.
But my younger son, that he likes the other Mario games, but now he's very much into the Minecraft.
Okay, got it. Yeah, video games. Well, that's okay. Maybe they'll get into it eventually.
Maybe.
And if nothing else, it's just, can you sell it back or take it back?
I don't want to sell it back. I just want to okay, this is like a fun thing that, we're all playing the game together.
Oh, okay.
But we played the Survivor card. Have you played the Survivor card game?
No, because I was not gifted the Survivor card game. And so if I'm not gifted it, I'm not going to go buy it.
Yeah.
Well, who am I going to play it with? I don't have kids. It's just me and my husband.
shouldn't you be one of the cards in the Survivor card game?
Well, no, it's okay.
Okay, well,
It's
we've
because
played.
I'm too open about Survivor. I'm a little too
Mhm.
opinionated about Survivor, I think, now these days. So I don't think that my face would be on a card game.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe prior to you getting the wig, maybe you were in more consideration. But no,
That's
we had
probably
a
true. Yeah.
bad outcome with the Survivor card game recently, and it really was. It's still being fought about at my house.
Wait, can you elaborate? Because you can't
Well,
just leave me on
because
that.
yes, because my wife, once again, she tried to do the hey kids, be in an alliance with mom and vote out dad. And I wasn't having it because we did that happened the first time we played, and
Okay.
there was just the four of us, and she got the kids, and she was like, hey everybody, let's vote out dad. And here I was like scrappy underdog Wentworth on the bottom.
Hey.
And this time my mom and my brother were visiting. So there were six of us. And
Mm.
I was like, from the jump, I was like, I'm calling it out. I'm like, hey, Dominic, Anthony, it's a final two in this game. Who do you think mom's taking to the end? Think about it. Think about, and I really was like, okay, she's gonna play hard, and I came out swinging, and I was going hard, and I'm like, you know what, that Kelley, I was like you, I'm playing with my mom. My mom's not gonna vote me out, you know. My mom's gonna look out for me, and I was so like I was so angry that again she tried to do, hey boys, let's vote out dad, it'll be fun, and I really like undid their whole alliance to the point that my older son, I flipped him, and I thought he turned against his mom, but he only turned against his brother, and he put like two votes on his brother during a tribal council, and my younger son has not forgiven him to this day. They got into a fight, a fist fight before bedtime the other night over
No.
you betrayed me in the Survivor card game.
Rob, is this how you prepare your children for their eventual appearance on Survivor?
I don't know. I don't
Is
know if
this a
it'll
long
still be on
term?
by the time that they have the season that's the kids of all the survivors. But I look, I gotta get them, gotta train them. They gotta learn
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, but I think by the time they are ready to play, the game will be like 9 days long and it'll be like
It'll
12
be
people.
literally the
So
Survivor card game.
so truly, I think that you're really prepping them correctly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. But I was really it was a great I played an idol in the Survivor card game. I got to feel what
Wow.
it must have been like for you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was
Yeah, it's just
very,
probably very similar.
very similar.
Wait, is it actually fun though? You can be
I
honest.
think it is. The Survivor card game
Okay.
is pretty fun. Yeah, I think you
Okay.
need you. I think I would say play with more than four people, but it was pretty fun.
Okay. That's good. Who did you play as?
I don't remember which team. Like it's basically you get two people per color. I don't remember who I
Oh.
had.
Okay, so you don't get to play as one specific
Yeah, you
person.
basically you get a team and you have two people
Oh, I
that
see.
are on your
Okay.
team. I don't
Okay.
remember. I want to say maybe I was Jeremy and Natalie.
Oh, great duo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Okay.
the
We
old
approve of that.
Hunapu crew.
Yeah. Yeah. Great tribe, really.
Yeah,
Looking back.
looking back, yeah,
Yeah.
lot of all stars there
A lot
on
of
Hunapu.
all-stars. Yeah, I love it. Well, we went off. I'm sorry. We had to do it. We had to talk about it.
Yeah, but
But
no, you were talking about the that it all started because you mentioned that the game that they played on the journey was like Mario Party.
oh, right. Yes. So, okay, so back to it. So, the people that are on the bottom, and we can't, you don't know in individual immunity challenges who is going to win it, right? But we can speculate based on the last two challenges who is going to win, especially when it's something to do with eh, strength.
Mhm.
And I know that I also just didn't even really like the way they did it where they only had four of the polls and then you had to get into these two things. I feel like we haven't had anything kind of normal Survivor since the merge. And
Yeah.
that's one of the other things I just get a little bit annoyed with in this new era. But yeah, so we have Star goes and Mitch goes and Camilla goes and Shaheen goes and Star loses her vote. And so now any chance that we could have had I say air quotes weaker. I don't think they're weaker, but I'm just calling it strong versus weak. The weaker side wants to do something. They now have just been knocked down another notch. Like there's just another thing now they have to worry about. So yeah, I just wasn't a fan of it in that sense. And I also don't feel like because for me, I feel like you should have to work to get the advantages or the idols, even if that means it's hidden at, like last season was Saul, right? It was right by him. It was a hilarious scene. He was just like burping and sleeping, and we were like, get it, you've got to get it. But anyone could have gotten that. And he was not assigned to sit there.
Right.
Anyone could have sat there. So it was kind of just a luck of the draw. So
and that was the advantage. That was the safety without power that saved Rachel. So that wasn't even like, it wasn't even really an advantage for him. He just found something that was like, they did the split tribal council and he got an advantage that was going to have an impact on the other tribe's tribal council. So it wasn't even like a real advantage.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
But I just, in terms of, this one, like, I think it just really spoke to, like, I think that it's not the right way to use an advantage. And we don't even know what the advantage is going to be. It could be something that's not super powerful.
It could be anything in the new era. It could be something completely new we've never seen before. So we're going to see. Did you see the preview for next week, or there was kind of someone puts out the information about the next episode, like the text that they put out.
What did you see?
It basically says that I think Eva gets caught.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I think. Sorry, when does this come out? Is this a spoiler? You can go look it up.
I mean, yeah, it's not a spoiler if it's a commercial, but I try not to.
It wasn't a commercial, it was the text. Where they explain
yeah.
what the next episode is about, where it says castaways go on a journey and there's going to be, so it didn't say that she is caught, but it definitely implied that. So
okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens with that. I mean, also, I wanted to ask you about this all strong people alliance. It's not technically all guys alliance, but it's kind of like the big strong guys are getting together. And I was thinking a little bit about in Survivor Second Chance. And that was a kind of an alliance that was coming together where Jeremy had, his meat shields of guys that he wanted to keep around in the game who were kind of keeping him insulated. In addition, you had Jeremy and Savage and Joe that were like all people that were sort of like in the core of that. And then ultimately, your idol play really does shake that up. But that was definitely not the first time that we've seen this before on Survivor.
No, but I was having flashbacks. I really was. It was very similar because in Cambodia, it was a bigger group that was sticking together. And then you had the weaker people on the other side of things. So it did feel very similar. And I will say, I think that in that situation, David is Savage.
Okay.
Joe is Jeremy. Who else do we have? Eva. Eva's probably like a Kelley Wigglesworth or something because she was very strong.
Yes.
Who else? Joe would be probably like Kyle.
Oh, the other Joe.
Other Joe. Yeah. So Second Chance. And then it stops there. But it definitely felt very familiar. And I almost feel like we needed something like that to shake this up, because here's what I have to say. I see a lot of people that are just mad about this alliance in general. I'm not mad about the alliance. They are doing exactly what they need to do. And creating an alliance on strength, it is totally fine. They should absolutely do that. I guess kind of thinking on it, my issue is going back to a couple episodes ago when we had the split, not the first one after the merge, but the split groups, the two groups. Yeah. Why didn't you do something then? Because specifically on the tribe that had Joe and Eva, and whoever else was there, you had
Chrissy, like Mitch, Star, and Say.
What were you doing? You had a known duo right there that is in a strong group, and even Say said it, that we should be looking at Eva, and nobody did anything. So really, you only have yourself to blame at this point.
So I asked Chrissy that was one of my first questions for her when I did the exit interview. And according to Chrissy, and, David was pushing back on some of the things that Chrissy said. So I don't know. It's like a little bit of, who knows like what the actual story is. But Chrissy said that Say went off with Eva, and Say came back and said, I won't write down Eva's name. And then Joe had immunity. And so for Chrissy, I think she felt like that she did not have those other options.
Okay, so then you make up a lie and you figure out a way to still get rid of Eva. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Especially for say she went home. So what was I do think this season the editing is a little bit confusing. And one example of that is the Mary David relationship.
Yes. What's going on there? How'd they become I wanted to drop a since when?
Since when? And because it's not like they're just kind of close. They are being shown as a strong duo. They were as a pair trying to drive a vote together against Camilla. That is not just like, oh, we're bringing Mary in as another number. They're like Joe and Eva. They're a duo. So I'm sorry. I was so mad editing. Like that is beyond. And then someone wrote a comment on one of my videos saying, oh, there was a secret scene where they talked about naming the tribe Milk and how it was kind of David and Mary. Yeah, but secret scenes mean nothing to the general audience. We're not watching those. So you can't depend on a secret scene for me to try and understand something.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
It is confusing.
That's my rant.
And I feel like that on social media, I feel like Mary was saying that she didn't even want to name the tribe Milk.
That was very confusing.
Yeah. But she's secretly like a big David person.
David, yeah. Interesting. So, okay, because I always try to play nice, you know? So I don't care about the strong person alliance. I totally get it. It makes sense to me. They're doing what they need to do. I just think we as viewers are finding it not that interesting because we're used to big moves, blindsides. We like that. We like to see the underdog do something. Like the fact that this was a unanimous vote against Chrissy at final 10.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not. I want something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, what can somebody like Mitch do in this situation? Because I know people were like, Mitch, do something. And he was saying on Twitter, well, we don't have the numbers. Like, what can you do when, if you don't have an idol? He played his advantage last week.
I don't really put this on Mitch, this particular vote. I put this on Kyle. And I love Kyle. I'm a big Kyle fan. I've said it. I could see Kyle at the end. I thought Kyle was in a good position for a long time there. But for me, if I'm Kyle, and I need to backtrack for a second. How do people not know that Kyle and Camilla are a pair? Because what Joe and Shaheen were at that tribe where they did the little thing with the idol.
To Thomas.
Why is this a secret?
I don't know. I guess maybe they're doing a really good job of like when the other one's not around, like, oh my God, I hate Kyle so much. You know who sucks? Camilla. Oh my God. I can't. And maybe they're just doing a really good job of throwing everybody off.
Something feels off.
Yeah.
It's strange. It is strange
because everybody thinks for some reason, starting with Mary, that, hey, you know who Camilla's really tight with? Shaheen. And so we need to get rid of Camilla so Mary feels comfortable with Shaheen.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. That also, the editing, a little off. Very confusing. What happened to loyalty? What happened to that? They're trying to weaken Shaheen by taking down Camilla. I thought they were all about integrity.
Yeah. What's up with that?
What's up with that? What'd Shaheen ever do to you, David? But I guess Kyle's also going against Shaheen. It's a little confusing this season. But back to Kyle.
Yeah, tell me about Kyle.
But back to Kyle. I feel like if you're Kyle and you really are going against the group because you want to keep Camilla, I feel like you have to make a decision at this point. Just my opinion. You're either going to go with Camilla and kind of roll with the other side, or you're going to go with the strong group. Because I feel like the way he pushed back so much, it's just going to put him in a bad position with the strong group. So it's like you might as well just start creating a new alliance with the other group, with Camilla. That's just my opinion. Because like, how do you feel about that? Because I didn't quite.
I think you're right. I think that this might be the week that they have to do that. Because there's that was 10. If they have 5 where it's Joe, Eva, I don't know if Shaheen is ready to flip. And then David and Mary, they have 5. Star lost her vote. So it's still only 4 to go, and that they're not going to be able to flip it on this vote. Now, with Star getting her vote back and Chrissy being gone, I think that there is that world where if Shaheen will flip with them, they could make that move this week. But will Shaheen flip on Joe?
Ugh, I don't know. That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Shaheen truly believes that Joe would pick him over Eva?
I don't think so.
So what are you doing?
He looks like to me that he's trying to pick up the people that are on the bottom. Like we've seen Shaheen talk with Say, and look at this big guy.
Oh, this is Cash. Yeah.
If you're listening to the podcast, a cameo from Cash the dog.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. He probably wants dinner. Okay. Thank you so much. I love you. Okay. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
But for Shaheen, that I think that he is working on Star. We've seen in the past. Could he be?
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
My dogs. It's, when you have to get on a very important call. Do your kids do this? Well, I guess you have your studio, so probably not.
No, they do. They come up here and they will like hand me notes in the middle of a podcast.
Like they're like, ooh, daddy's doing something important. And now would be the time to want to play Mario Party. That kind of thing like that. We didn't want to play it for the past week, but tonight, when he's doing something, that's kind of how my dogs are. So they're behaving, but they were just having a little moment of
pretty good.
Yeah. And Dad left to go get groceries for dinner. Dad is my husband, right?
Yeah.
Dad.
I got that.
Okay, good.
I didn't think it was
not
Dale. Yeah.
Not Dale. But their dad went to go get groceries, and so there's no one here to monitor them. And so they see that mom is busy talking, and so cool, this is our opportunity to just go totally wild.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. So hopefully they'll stop.
Yeah. Soon. But I also think that part of it is an issue with the new era where it's only like 24 hours from the last tribal council, and that I don't know if there's always enough time to get something going, that they don't really have, especially when this day was all about that they did the split tribal council and they were in 2 different groups. Then they come back for the group, they go to sleep, they wake up in the morning, they go to the challenge, and they split up into all these different teams. And then you have 4 people that went to tacos, 4 people that went to go lose their vote, 2 people back on the beach. And then what do they have, like an hour before tribal council, if that?
It's ridiculous.
So that's
till lockdown? They probably have an hour till lockdown.
Yeah, it's tough to figure out how to like dismantle this thing if you're Kyle.
Yeah, I guess. I'm trying not to be too hard because, there's so much that happens that we don't see. So I understand that. But some things just aren't making sense. But I do think some of it has to do with the editing.
Yeah.
I do think that. Leaving out some key information for us.
Kelley, what's your take on Club Condo?
Well, I know that you have a Club Condo.
We do have a Club Condo. Well, did you ever hear Jeff mention Club Condo in any of your Survivor playing days?
Not one single time.
Yeah.
Have I ever heard of this before? Yeah. No, I'm not really sure. He's really, sometimes with Jeff, I feel like he does get a phrase or he kind of rolls with this theme sometimes. As an example, in Second Chance, it was very much like the voting blocks.
Yeah.
Which once that term came out, it was like bing, 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 every tribal council. That is what we are going to be talking about. And I kind of feel like that's Club Condo, but it's not really anything. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So, you had a Club Condo centric video recently.
Yeah. And I was Jeff and I said, don't act like you don't know what it is. It was obviously a joke. Yeah. It's like, don't ask dumb questions. Everyone knows what Club Condo is. Yeah. No one has a single clue. And here's what I did. Sorry, the dog. There they go. I thought that I was the one who was an idiot.
You got gaslit.
I did. And I Googled it. I was like, Club Condo. Not a damn thing under Club Condo.
Yeah. I don't think
So
it's a real thing. I think that it's something that maybe Jeff and his friends used to talk about. And then like he's like brought it to the world, but I don't think that this was like a widely used phrase. Like I don't think this is just sort of like, oh no, in the 80s everybody said Club Condo.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, I've never, not one single time have I heard that. Apparently it was mentioned in another season.
So
I think
I
with
know at
Franny.
least with Franny, yes, that
Yeah.
he mentioned Club Condo, and
Okay.
it might have been even earlier if there's another mention of it, because he also said it with Full Tilt Boogie, which he's also said in the past, Full Tilt
Right.
Boogie.
He has said that. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you think that Club Condo will become like one of the signature catchphrases of the show?
I hope not.
You're not here for it?
No. It's a little too try hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really kind of flowing naturally. Feels like it's been made up and is being forced into the conversation.
Do you agree with the analogy about Survivor being like a house party where some people are doing one dance over here and then other people are doing a different dance over here?
I
Because I
think
can't dance.
Yeah, no, me either. I don't do karaoke. That's not my thing. So I'm usually right at the punch bowl, and I hope it's spiked.
Yeah.
I'm running straight for it. Where's the bar?
Yeah. No karaoke at all.
I'm not a big karaoke girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to sing like that in front of other people because I don't have a good voice. Do you have a good voice?
I think I have fun doing karaoke.
You do?
And yeah, I do. But I don't know if I don't have as much fun like doing it like as a performance like for other people. Like I would have more fun. We have a karaoke machine at the house. It's nothing that fancy. It's just like a speaker with a microphone, but then we put on the videos on YouTube.
What?
You can do all the karaoke songs are on YouTube.
Oh,
You can do the karaoke.
Oh gosh. I thought you meant you recorded yourselves
No,
and
I
you
never
had a
recorded
YouTube
it.
channel.
No.
with the Cesternino family and their karaoke nights.
But like on the YouTube on the Apple TV, like we'll put on like the YouTube video of the thing, and that will also create some fighting over who got to go, whose turn it is. But that is one of my favorite family activities.
Okay. Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
Not never. I'll do anything. I don't care. But the problem is that all the songs I know are old, and so it's another opportunity for everybody to say, "Dad is old."
You're only old if you feel old, Rob.
I don't feel that old, but I get told. I more get told that I'm old more than I feel old.
Do you get ID'd anytime you go out? Like, do you ever go out and order cocktails?
But I think it's more because they have to. Like, I don't feel like that anybody's confused about whether or not I get ID'd. But I think that because sometimes I think that they'll be like, yeah, I was like, well, we have to. Like, I don't think that they're like, nobody's getting tricked that they think I'm like 19.
Okay.
Trying to buy Nicole's Prosecco at the store.
Got it. Okay. So they'll kind of look at it and do the scan. Like they don't, you can tell they didn't even look at the birthday. Like it was just like the courtesy. You had to get it out of your wallet, take the time. You gave it to them and they just did the little,
sometimes
they kind of
at
scanned
Sam's
it.
Club, Kelley, I feel like that they just punch in any number. They didn't even look at my thing.
They're like 1962.
Whatever.
Like it's fine. It doesn't matter. Wherever their fingers go first on the
just
keyboard.
Put it like their own birthday.
Right. They do it quite quickly. Sometimes I think there's no way that you looked at that and put in the number that fast.
So. Yeah.
But
what do you must get ID'd, right?
For the courtesy ID, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then we do that thing where my husband and I are like, oh wow, we're old. Yeah, the fact that we're just doing that alone means that you don't need to do ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look, I'm gonna still be if they do check, I'm still happy.
Yeah, I guess I'll take it. I'll take any little win at this point.
Yeah,
really. Yeah, I'll take it.
Sure, Kelley. Do you have any other standout characters that you are enjoying watching this season?
Well, there are some people I really enjoy, but Star
Yes.
needs more screen time.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on there?
I feel like that Star is a big personality, and I feel like that they felt like, okay, we have a casting home run, and I just feel like she's not involved in the game, and I feel like that they don't have any way to, like, I'd be surprised if we're here, oh, Star had this going on, Star had this alliance. I just feel like that people are like, okay, she's not really part of it, and they're not, there's that we're talking about how little time there is. She's just so far out of the power structure. I just don't think that people are really paying attention to her.
That's so unfortunate because the little moments that we have seen of Star, she's been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Such a bright light. I know that sounds cheesy because, Star, but she's just amazing, very funny and unintentionally funny, which is great.
Yeah.
That's hard to find in someone. So
When she
she's
threw
just
the
naturally
marker,
herself.
like, that was great.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Well, and that's
I
part of
love
the
that.
problem. I know you don't like it when they lose their vote, but then when she especially lost her vote this week, it was like she was at the bottom and she lost her vote. It was just like, okay, well, you're not even a person. You're not,
Yeah.
what do we even have to, we don't even have to talk to you.
That's true. But I felt like that with that entire side, which does make me kind of feel like I'm going to say it here, and I could be wrong. I'm fine. I'm wrong quite often. Because there was such a focus on that large group this week, and the other side really didn't. The dad's home now, so he's got it handled. He's got it handled.
Yeah.
So I didn't, because we didn't see really anything from the other group. It kind of makes me feel like, could the Strong Five actually dismantle this week? Like, could someone go home? I could see it. Like almost last week, they were kind of prepping us, like, David and Kyle have some issues. And then we see Kyle and Joe are talking and they're kind of speaking about how David was losing it a little bit and it's maybe a little too over the top. Like, is it possible that the editing was trying to tell us that something's going to happen this week with them? Or was it just there's nothing else going on?
I feel like something's going to happen. I feel like I think that that the Strong Five will have losses along the way. Like, I think that
so
probably
too.
either David or Mary will go. And I also feel very strongly that I think that either Joe and Eva or Kyle and Camilla will ultimately be like the dominant pair and one of them will win the game. Do you agree with that thought that one of the pairs is going to win out?
Yes, I do think that.
Do you have a strong feeling about which pair you think will be the one that wins this battle?
I kind of feel like it's Joe and Eva.
I just feel like Kyle and Camilla, I can't dismiss them.
I'm not dismissing them. I'm not dismissing them. I just feel like there's been no heat. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I keep like moving my table. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
There has been no heat on Eva and Joe, even though they're a very obvious pair, even though Eva has an idol. No one's wanted to do anything. What happened with Star and Eva? What happened there?
When Star gave the idol to Eva?
I thought that Star said, I have a new alliance member. I have a new person I'm going to be working with. That was all a trick. Trickery.
That was Star said that. Eva didn't say that.
I thought Eva did say that. Yes, she did.
Oh, she did?
She said I have an idol and now I have a new relationship with Star and we're going to work together.
That was like 3 days ago, Kelley.
That was 4 tacos ago. Come on.
Easy come, easy go.
Okay, well, yeah, whatever. That's fine.
Tribal lines are over. It's the Strong Five. Is Star's in the Strong Five? No. Or the Strong Six?
Well, Strong Seven.
She'd be in the Strong Seven. Yeah. So, I don't know how it's going to ultimately shake up. I do feel like that. I think this is going to like all come to a head this week.
I think so too. That's what I'm saying. I feel like they for a very straightforward vote and not really seeing a lot about what the other side was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we should have seen something from Mitch, who was close with Chrissy, about like, okay, I have to vote for Chrissy. I guess they still wanted some sort of element of surprise at Tribal Council. They wanted the audience probably thinking that it was Chrissy or Camilla, which annoys me sometimes because I'm like, don't try and fool me. So that makes me think that something's going to happen within that group, and they were showing us all of that.
Yeah, I do think that that is one of the things that is annoying about Survivor. And I know it's television, but I kind of get mad that I feel like that, we only have so much time to watch this show, and we only have so much like time of getting to see what happens. And like half of the stuff they show us is like a lie to trick us to think that a different thing is going to happen.
Exactly.
Like, I just want to know what's really happening.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to always then have like half of the show be a lie to trick me to something else that's not really going to happen.
Because they want you to believe everything's a blind side, but it's really not a blind side.
Sometimes it's not that close. But Kelley, when you watch the Seahawks game, like they don't make it seem like everyone comes down to the last play if they're winning like 34-7.
Exactly right. That's exactly right, Rob.
Like this one wasn't close.
You know that well, being a Jets fan, so.
Hey, I was gonna ask you about how excited you were for Sam Darnold.
Who? No, just kidding. That's how excited I am.
You're not excited?
Well,
did you love Gino, a different ex-Jet?
Okay, hold on. I wouldn't say I loved Gino necessarily, but I do feel a bit of disappointment that pretty much the entire offense fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
DK Metcalf gone.
Yes.
Okay. Tyler Lockett gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Geno Smith gone. What are we doing? I have season tickets, and I can't skip a year. Like, I can't be like, oh, this is a bad year, I'm going to skip, because then I get booted all the way back to the line, and I waited 10 years to get season tickets. So now it's just, they just have me like handcuffed. Like, you're going to pay these prices for these tickets, even if we're bad.
About
like,
the receivers. But I would be excited for Sam Darnold.
Why?
He came into his own. I mean, look, that Sam Darnold was like, that we didn't do right by Sam Darnold. It wasn't like, that he was, we drafted him and he was a bust. They didn't have anything going when he was on the Jets. And then he bounced around, and then he went to San Francisco, and then he had a really good year last year in Minnesota. And now, you're sort of like he's coming out of like a bunch of different situations, and he might be ready to shine.
I'll give anyone a chance. So
give him a chance.
We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. I think he's going to be fun.
Okay, well, Rob, if we lose our first 5 games, I will absolutely be texting you. So will you be drafting him in fantasy football? Tell me that.
I probably, like, if I was in a 2-quarterback league, I think I would have him as a second quarterback.
That's exactly.
I don't think he's a top 12 guy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's better than Gino. And I did have Gino in fantasy last year.
Ooh, wait, no, Gino had a good year, though.
Yeah, I know. I won the championship.
So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But he was my second quarterback. He wasn't my number 1 quarterback.
Oh, who was your number 1?
Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
And I beat Jeremy in the fantasy championship.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, by a lot or a little?
I think it's by a little.
Well, Jeremy's won Survivor, so he's got to give you something.
You think that he's satisfied of winning Survivor? That he's not going to be pulling out every stop to try to win fantasy?
No, but he's got to give you one.
In like 7 different fantasy leagues.
I know he does play a lot of fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing for me is that my older son, he's very into it, and that he does help me. I told Jeremy that recently, and he said that was cheating.
Why? Why doesn't he have Remy help him?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
He's got a whole team of kids that he could ask for help.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. You think I have time to be studying all these wide receivers when I got to watch Survivor 5 times a week? Okay.
Oh my God.
It's not on during the Survivor off season.
Oh man. Well, maybe you could just skip 49.
Big Brother.
You can just skip 49.
No.
Is anyone excited for 49 with 50 on the horizon? Not really.
What if 49 is like the greatest season ever, Kelley?
After this season?
What do you think it's gonna be a tough bar to live up to?
No.
You played on season 29. Were you saying like, oh, nobody's going to care about season 29. They're only going to care about season 30.
Well, different situation. Because
Jeff said about season 30, he said that, hey, it's our 30th season, but it's only our 30th season.
Oh, okay. What's he saying about 50?
It's going to be in the hands of the fans.
Did you see that? Did you see that flag? Did you see that
like
logo? I feel like one of your sons could have crafted that
Maybe
together.
they did. Yeah, Kelley, you played in the ultimate season that was in the hands of the fans.
I did. Why haven't we done that again? That's fun. Second chance too. Let the fans decide.
You all left for second chances that I was like, wow, they're going to do this. They probably do this again every year. I thought it seemed like it was such a hit and they never did it again.
I know. Why is that?
I don't know. Is it because they had to flip the co-wrong and this? But I mean, season 50, they're not making it like that. You're voting on things during Survivor 48. It's like a whole, in Cambodia, you were voting during season 30 and it was going to be the next season. They had to flip things around. This is like, it's not even going to be on for a year. We're voting on what does the necklace look like?
Listen, there's nothing that gets me more excited.
What
I've always dreamed of.
Yes. Yeah. Did you vote on any of the different things for season 50?
Well, I'm going to be honest.
Yes.
I reported on all 3 of the voting session cycles, whatever we want to call it. The first one I was excited. You know why, Rob? They gave me and all the rest of us the option to vote on the live reunion.
Yeah.
I was so excited. In that group, they also had the fire making.
Yep.
They had rice or no rice. These are decent things, in my opinion. I thought it was only going to get better. And then you give me tribe colors.
That was in the first one. That was the buff color was in the first one.
That was in the second one. It was.
I thought the buff color.
I think was it not the second one?
Was in the first one. I think the second one was what challenge do you want at the final 4?
Oh, Mike, I didn't even know 2 of them. What were they? At least give me a link to a YouTube clip. I had no clue. I had people messaging me. What is this? Babe, I don't know. Doesn't look like anything I've seen before.
Yeah. They also, I think in the second one, they had the question about like, do you want a lot of twists or not that many twists
okay. So then they basically asked the same question the third time around, but it was advantages instead of twists.
I think so.
But then they worded it in such a ridiculous way on the website to try and confuse the audience,
Yeah.
So I got my aunt over here who has no clue what's going on. She's reading it like, oh, I don't know. I guess it's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
It's confusing. Just put the question
on whether to say Club Condo anymore or not. Should that be on the poll?
Jeff would never.
Yeah.
You know what might be on the next one? We get to vote on the color of Jeff's shirts.
Oh, should Jeff wear a black shirt or a blue shirt?
Don't care.
Yeah.
But
I feel like with the immunity idol or the immunity necklaces, I feel like couldn't they have given us like 5 options? Like it was like such a binary choice of like, was it this one or this one?
No, it's 2. One or the other. You get one choice. And one was clearly superior. Looked like Hunger Games, which I was kind of into.
Yeah.
But it just does nothing to the game. I just don't care.
Yeah.
But I guess they can only I really am being harsh on them. They can only do so many things. What else are we going to vote on? Oh, I know what we could vote on. We could vote on final 2 or final 3. We could vote on do we want a tribe swap or not a tribe swap?
Yeah.
Do we want what else? I'm trying to think.
I think that was a question that was in one of them. Do you want a tribe swap?
I don't remember. We could vote on. Here's one. Here's a hot topic. Individual jury questions or open jury format.
Yeah. Here's a big one. 2 tribes or 3 tribes?
Thank you. Love it.
I understand we can't do 39 days, but why can't we do 2 tribes?
I'm begging. I'm exhausted, Rob.
Yeah.
I can't. It's so rinse and repeat for me at this point. It's the same thing. Like we're going to do here we go. We're going to do the 3. And then sometimes we get a swap. Wait, hold on. What's the deal with this auction thing? They can only do an auction every other season because it takes too many resources. Like you could put one piece of cheese and a cracker on a plate,
Yeah.
and people will spend $1,000 on that.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that about?
Well, they have to make the auction very complicated, Kelley. They have to hide all the money.
It's ridiculous.
Should there be an auction in season 50?
Yes.
Yes, you vote for yes.
Absolutely. Survivor
Mhm.
Classic. Anytime the auction, well, auction's not so great anymore because the format is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
Did you
dumb.
ever get to do an auction?
No.
No.
So disappointed. But I
Yeah.
did get to eat a scorpion, so same.
That you ate the scorpion when they did the gross foods.
Bring back a food eating challenge.
Yeah, we
Bring
did
back a
get that,
trivia challenge.
with the trivia challenge. Which one is the trivia challenge? Like the nighttime, the one that you guys
Yeah.
did. Yeah, that
That's
was good.
fun.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
We don't do any of that.
Yeah. Did you do the challenge that Jeff said was the most iconic challenge ever, which was the get a grip, stand on a pole challenge? Did you ever have that?
No. Never had that.
Mm-hmm. How would you do on that?
Are you standing on a small piece of wood?
I think you're like kind of like hugging a big piece of wood.
Oh, the one we just saw.
Yeah, yes.
Oh no, I never did that.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
it would
would
be
you do?
horrible. I'd probably be horrible at that.
Yeah.
I get really sweaty.
Yeah. Well,
So I'd probably slip.
They showed pictures of like when Parvati went for like, 4 hours or whatever, and she was kind of just like standing there. And Jeff said this week about how like hey, we made it so much harder for people. There's not even a foothold for people.
Yeah, because they don't want to sit there for 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
They don't. They want it to be over and done. So they make it harder and harder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would have been
entertaining, but
very good at this. I mean, you probably could have given me all the footholds. I don't think it was going to happen for me.
no. Are you good at word puzzles?
I think I'm pretty good at like the one thing that I felt like that I had in the bag was that they had in Survivor the Amazon. It was like find the hidden words in the puzzle with like
Love
a piece
it.
of chalk.
Love
And
that.
that was like the most I was ever in my element. That was it.
Okay. I
I was
like that.
I got this.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
That was like I felt never. I was like, okay, this is like the one thing that's in my wheelhouse.
I've got this.
I got this. Like, give me the chalk. Let's go.
I hate chalk.
I'm not a big chalk fan either.
Okay. Does it make you kind of like tingle? Like you get the little shivers?
No,
Or
not,
you
not
know.
until somebody like scratches the chalkboard. But just in general,
I
yeah,
can't. Yeah, just the thought of that. I can't do that.
yeah. I don't even think that they still have chalk in any classrooms.
Really?
I don't think so. I
Wow.
gotta ask my kids. I feel like that they have just like dry erase board everywhere.
They definitely don't wheel in the TV.
Yes, they all have a TV already.
Yeah. They're not wheeling in the TV. You know that.
Yeah, I think my wife asked the other day that do they ever still use the overhead projector?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
No, they can't.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. You think they do?
I guess is it too low tech?
Yeah, I think they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't even know how they got like the teacher would have like a piece of plastic with like the notes on it. I don't even know how they do that.
Yeah, they would have to write it out, and then they'd put it on, and it would project. Yeah.
Yeah, they put like the plastic into like the photocopier.
No, they would hand write out the notes.
I feel like that a lot of times they would have like where maybe I'm dreaming of this, so like where the print was like on the piece of plastic, and they would be like writing on that.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't remember that. I feel like I
Yeah.
remember handwritten. Yeah, wow. We really, really are old, aren't we?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow.
I mean, I think I've got you beat by a bit.
But once you get to a certain age, it's all
Yeah.
the same.
I guess so. Yeah. Is that what Jeff should have done at the Cambodia Final Tribal Council when he tried to explain how the no votes tribal council worked? Should he have had like an overhead projector?
No,
That wouldn't have been as good.
the chalk was fine.
I think he had a marker.
Oh, it was a marker. Yeah, you're right. It was a marker. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you about something from one of your previous seasons where
Okay.
Jeff recently talked about how was asked about. I think that this came up on the On Fire podcast, which I'm sure you check out every week. But there was a question about that. Jeff was asked about, hey, how come you all don't have challenges where people are fighting anymore? That they used to. People said that they used to like that. And Rachel asked Jeff about, hey, you know a challenge I really like that we haven't seen in a while? Sumo at sea, where they shove each other into the water. And Jeff said that it was last run in Survivor, or he didn't say this, Dalton Ross added this. It was last run in season 29, San Juan del Sur. And he said it was something that we noticed, the one-on-ones, they got into something really primal inside, and it became a little bit more like people got angry, like, I'm going to knock you off. And it added a layer of dynamic that is compelling, but is going to take your game in a certain direction. It's not what we want. What do you think about that? Now, as Kelley, I believe you had the winning point.
I did.
I believe it was your birthday.
It was.
And
It was.
even Dale cheered as from Coyopa on the losing tribe because his birthday girl got the winning point against Jacqueline, right?
Yeah. That's true. That's all true. That's
Yeah.
not made up. Yeah. So it was my second time going up against her. And the first time I lost. And so I realized that just height difference, there's no way that I could take her. So I had to get low. So I basically just dropped, like I was like a little turtle.
Yeah.
It's like, waiting. And then she kept trying to get me and she couldn't because I just held my ground there like I was a rock. And then I seized my moment.
Yes.
And once I got her down.
Did you notice anything primal going on from the other players?
Well, I think primal in the sense that, yeah, when you're going 1-to-1 head to head against somebody and you're a competitive person, yeah, of course you kind of, you do get very competitive, but I don't think it was like dangerous in any way or anything like that.
Were you on the mat when Drew Christie said, let's go, Josh, and then he had to get corrected? That actually Reed is on our team.
I'm sure I was. Drew did a lot of funny things.
John Mish had to tell him that actually Reed is our tri-paint.
Well, that's because Drew was too busy sleeping all day. He had no idea what was going on.
He didn't know who was there.
Just me, just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the easy one on this.
And then also that Missy made Baylor bleed.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I think some things I block out of my memory. But.
Baylor said, "Hey, Mom, pretend I'm one of the exes," and then Missy hit her too hard.
Isn't that great TV though? No, don't we want that?
Jeff doesn't like it. No more Sumo at sea.
Only mud.
No, that was it. Oh yeah, yes. He want that. They had Sumo in the mud in Heroes versus Villains.
Yeah, that was dangerous. Some of them are some of them I do feel are a little bit dangerous. One that comes to mind is they were I think they were down below and you had to like go against each other and get up on like a little perch and put like coconuts in a basket or something. Was that also in Heroes versus Villains or was that an older season?
Oh, Schmergen Brawl.
Ah, is that it?
Yeah, well, they had it in Samoa and they had it in Survivor Heroes versus Villains, and both times like people got injured.
That's
that was
what
where
I'm saying.
James hurt his knee.
Yes,
like Rupert like body slammed Jerry.
Yes, exactly. I have another one for you.
What is it?
In Survivor Cambodia, when you're in the water and Jeff throws up the ball in the middle.
Yes.
And people from each side have to come together and then you're pulling people down into the water. Also a very physical one.
Yeah. I thought they still did that one for a while. I thought they did it in Millennials versus Gen X. Like, I feel like that was like one of the last ones to like, I feel like if you're in the water, they'd let you wrestle a little bit, but in the new era, they've never done that.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Wait. I had a thought, but I don't really want to put it out there. So
okay.
I wonder if some of that changed after 39.
That's possible.
I think that's I have a sneaking suspicion that's probably what happened.
Yeah. But do you feel like that they're missing some of like that challenges where it's like mano y mano type of challenges where that I feel like that used to be a big part of Survivor in the challenges where it's like, all right, here's this person taking on this person.
It was, of
Mhm.
course. Yeah, I do miss it. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
Something.
Now every challenge is a race.
It's always a race with some sort of puzzle at the end, or there's always something at the end.
Mhm.
And I feel like more than half of them are about just going through mud. Like it really is. And I know that you've talked about that before, but it is
Yeah.
just like, why?
If they get birthed. They have to get birthed into Survivor.
It's terrible.
I
Terrible.
just don't like I can't see who they are anymore. Especially like the first day we meet them. I don't understand.
It's ridiculous. Why?
I don't love it. I don't love that.
I just feel like they've just run out of ideas. Like they're just like, okay, we'll just add the mud back in. They're like, just get it really wet. Just add the mud. That'll help. Oh, you know what? When they did this season though, that I did like
what?
The blindfold. I love a good blindfold challenge.
Did you ever do the blindfold challenge?
Yes, in Cambodia.
Okay. And were you the caller or you were one of the people that were out there?
I was one of the people out there, and Jeff actually did mention in that challenge something about how Terry was dancing by himself. So to bring back the dancing subject, he mentioned it then. So he must really have a thing with dancing.
Yeah. Terry's at Club Condo all by himself.
Exactly. He didn't use Club Condo, but close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelley, can I ask you about your process in terms of like when you're going to make a video, are you watching the episode and then like the light bulb goes off while you're watching? Or is it sort of like you see what people are talking about on social media and it's like, okay, let me weigh in on this thing that's like become like a big conversation?
It's a little of both. So when I'm watching, I think it's easy to spot, just like when you do a podcast, right? You probably know what the hot topics are going to be. There's just certain things that everyone's going to want to have an input on. And so that's typically how I do it. Sometimes if there's something that people are talking about that I wouldn't have normally talked about, I will. But if it's not something that I am kind of interested in, then I just won't talk about it. So, and I try to also talk about things where I can kind of weave in my own experience. So as an example, when they were going through Kyle's bag, when Shaheen and Thomas were going through Kyle's bag, I did a video talking about that. But then I also kind of asked the audience a question of like, where would you hide it? Because I do think when you watch Survivor, just like a lot of other shows, you are asking yourself that question. What would I do if I were there? What would I do if I were in that alliance? What would I do if I were in that challenge? How would I play my idol? where would I hide my idol? So sometimes I like to weave in stuff like that as well, where I'm talking about a subject, but then I'm also asking like, hey, like how would you play? How do you think you would play if you were out there? Because I am curious to see what people say. So
were you ever involved in a bag search situation?
I really can't remember.
Yeah.
Something interesting that has happened to me. Oh, here I go again, moving my table. Something interesting is that Survivor almost feels like it didn't happen in a way. And a lot of things that happened out there, I've forgotten, whether it's been so long or I do have a terrible memory to begin with. So a lot of those little things and little moments I don't remember. So I would say that I probably did, or maybe even was a part of one myself, but nothing that was so significant that I remember that moment specifically.
I find that I don't really remember things that didn't happen on the television show too much. I feel like that I have like recollection of the stuff that's in the TV show, but my own local memory is not that great of what happened during Survivor.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if I go back and watch a season, it kind of jogs my memory. I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen that way. But kind of all the little day-to-day stuff that happened and the actual experience and real life experience of being there on the beach. Yeah, I don't remember it that well. It's really strange.
It's the kind of thing where, and I'm not particularly close with any of the people that I played Survivor with, but I feel like if you could like have like dinner with them, like it would come back, some of that stuff.
I think so. I do think so. Because sometimes Lauren, my great friend Lauren O'Connell will text me something. Yeah. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, wait, did that happen? Or even something about a challenge where she said that oh, do you remember before every challenge, they would take a Polaroid of us for our outfit?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I actually forgot that we did that. I literally forgot we did that. But yeah, we did. So just all those little things.
Yeah. We had gotten a Polaroid camera in the auction in the Amazon. And I think
What?
I'm trying to remember who got it. If it was, maybe it was, I don't even remember which player got the Polaroid camera, but I think that, the pictures we took might have gotten burned in the fire that we had.
That's so
It's a
sad.
sad story, Kelley.
That's so sad. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, when I left both of my, the really all of my seasons, I was in such a bad headspace that I can't believe I'm going to say this. I hope nobody gets mad at me.
No.
I left my bag and my water bottle. I didn't even want them. People take those
left it at
home.
Tribal Council.
I left it at Ponderosa.
Oh.
I didn't even want to bring it back with me.
Was that when you had played multiple times, or that was from the first time you played?
I specifically remember, I think all of them.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. Isn't that terrible? I just leave it.
Leave it.
Toss that old piece of junk.
Because
yeah, bad memories. Yeah, just leave it.
That's so interesting. I don't think.
No, it's horrible. Now I'm sad. Why did I do that? I'm just like, that just goes to show you the headspace that Survivor put me in. Yeah. This is why I could never go back, Rob. Like, what was I thinking?
I would think that, especially when you played the second time, when and I know that you came up short, but it must have been like such a felt like, even in, and maybe you're that's like, what do you mean it felt like a victory? But I would think that, like, to come back and have the experience that you had in the second time, that you would have wanted to keep all that stuff.
I was just so out of it that season specifically. I do remember that season, and also 38. 38 just really pissed me off.
Sure.
The Edge of Extinction just really frustrated me, because I felt like, which ended up being true, I felt like the 4 returnees were kind of used as an experiment for them using Edge of Extinction for 40, which I guess they didn't know maybe 40 was not supposed to be Winners at War originally. I was called for that season, whatever it was going to be, and then it pivoted. So maybe they weren't going to do Edge of Extinction.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. You get that they pivot? Were you called for that season, Rob?
I was, yeah.
Oh, you were? Okay. Yeah. So I don't know what it was going to be.
But it really didn't do, like, I think it was like maybe like October or whatever the year before, and they called me, and I was like, yeah, okay, keep me posted. And then that, like, in the spring, they called me and said, okay, you're out. Like, okay, well,
that was fun.
But I never got to the point of where I was like doing like anything like serious or anything like that. I was like, like, yes, I'll be considered, and then it was over.
Got it. Yeah, it pivoted.
But
which I feel like we're seeing in this season 50. Yeah. Wow, hot topic. Wow, I've been enjoying the crash outs. I'm just like, dang.
Kelly, can I go back to
Survivor
40?
Okay, sure.
And what might have been, because I feel like that the idea that might have been out there was and again, this is a little bit of speculation on my part, but maybe like advanced speculation. I think that at one point they thought about a like best to not win season. And that might have been something that was on the table, or best to not win versus winners, or like all best to not win.
Okay.
And maybe that's where they were leaning towards with some of those early thoughts for season 40.
Yeah, maybe. I think it just goes to show that they obviously cast a wide net initially, right? They look at a board, I don't know, I'm not in the conversation. This is how I imagine it in my own brain.
Yeah.
They kind of have an idea of what they want it to be. They call their people to see who's available, and then they start really narrowing it down and figuring it out. So it's always good to take the call, but I do understand when people get frustrated that they've been through the process and done everything and then get cut. That is very disappointing.
No
But I think in
doubt.
the beginning, they are going to call a lot of people to kind of see how it's all going to
Yeah.
come together. So
Can I tell you something that I was surprised about with you?
what?
And you tell me like, hey, cut this out of the podcast, or like get like
Okay.
no comments. Use your
Okay.
safe word. I would have guessed that you would have gone to play Australian Survivor.
Mm. Mhm.
We could talk about something else.
No, no, it's fine. Yeah, I haven't. A lot of people have asked me about this or thought that I would be on.
But
I
this
was
is
in consideration. I was supposed to be on this
okay.
season. I was. There were some different negotiations, things going on. I was going through the process. I think because I dropped, someone else went in. So you're welcome, everybody, because you probably want to see them more than me anyway. But
Yeah.
yes, I
But
was supposed to be on the season.
okay, and I didn't know that. I
Yes.
wasn't getting at anything. I just know that you are a big proponent of Australian Survivor,
Hmm.
and I think have been pretty open about that. You're not dying to go do more U.S. Survivor,
Correct.
and you do love Survivor. So I thought that you would have
Yes.
been a natural fit for that.
Yeah, I guess they felt that way too.
Hmm.
But just some different things came out, and there was, yeah, between you and me, and I don't care if you air this, it's fine. I first of all, I had some personal things that I
Yeah.
was kind of like, okay, well, I would have to move this around, and would this work for me? Which you can kind of figure out. But then I had heard that certain people, there were certain contracts that were going out, and like they were not the same, which is
Hmm.
understandable. But then I felt like I was kind of like the lowest choice, and just like I just didn't want to be the lowest choice. So I was like, just go grab somebody else that I think you guys want more.
Yeah.
So that's just
Um,
the that's the most of the truth about it.
yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
Totally get that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know anything else besides being the lowest choice, so I wouldn't know from anything. But yeah, I if they do it again, you'd be a great pick.
Yeah, I think too. I feel like I've kind of done everything on Survivor. Yes, Australian Survivor would be fun, but I'd be open to other shows for sure. Like I think
Mhm.
the Traders would obviously be super fun.
You'd be a
Would you
great
want to do
fit.
the Traders? Who would want to do the Traders?
Who wouldn't?
Like so fun. I think that at this point, Deal or No Deal Island really is
Dondi.
taking off. Yeah, Dondi looks fun. Anything where you can eat and get a shower and
Hmm.
sleep in a bed sounds good to me. Did
Yeah.
you watch Gotta Get Out? That's a new one.
No, I didn't watch. I heard it was fun. Yeah,
So
I saw your
fun.
post. You said, yeah, and you were like, it was like a fake out. You were like, do not watch Got to
Yeah.
Get Out
Yeah.
unless you want to have the most fun you've ever had in your
It
life.
was so fun because that's what I thought. I honestly turned it on and I thought, ugh. I was like cleaning my kitchen when I put it on, just as kind of background noise. And it was hilarious. I loved it. It was like it didn't take itself too seriously. Super funny moments.
Did you have a favorite person on that?
I will tell you, Steve Helling was absolutely
Yes.
hilarious. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but really great. Obviously, Spencer was fun. Susan from the Golden Bachelorette,
Okay.
hysterical. She did not even mean to be, and she was fantastic. It was just overall, it was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would recommend that one. I would do
Anything
that
else?
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you're watching?
The Last of Us,
Yes, I know you're very upset.
heartbroken.
Yeah. I
Heartbroken.
don't. It's too yucky.
What do you mean?
It's like like the fungus people. Like
Oh, does that scare you?
it, it doesn't scare me, but I find it unsettling. Like
Really?
I need like a pick me up from these shows.
Oh,
Why do I want to
okay.
watch like something gross?
Okay. So you don't watch The Handmaid's Tale?
No.
Okay. Do you have Apple TV?
Yes.
The Studio.
Oh, I heard that was good.
That is an easy
Yeah.
30-minute episodes, really funny, has Seth Rogen, great cast.
Yes.
It's a
Because
you'll laugh, easy watch.
yeah, Nicole was asking me like, "Well, what's our new show?" I'm like, "I don't know. I
Oh.
don't think there's anything. We have anything right now."
Oh. By choice, there's so much out.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's so much you could watch.
All right.
Neighbors
Well,
and Friends or Friends and Neighbors or something. That's a new one that looks
friends and
good.
neighbors.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
That
the
looks good.
studio we'll
Do
check
The
out.
Studio. That's an easy one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw
love
Seth
it.
Rogen in the vet's office one time, just to bring it back to dogs.
In LA?
When I was in LA, yeah.
Did you say anything?
No, just
Oh,
you just see people there.
oh,
But yeah, it
wow,
was like
okay.
2007 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Very long time ago.
Okay. So he
Mhm.
was in his more like, well, he's always funny, but he was in kind of his,
Yeah, it seemed to me that
like,
he
what
was
era,
like
like what movie was he in at that time? Super
I
bad? Was he in
no,
that
I think
movie?
it's maybe I feel it was later than Superbad.
Oh.
But I feel it was like what was the one with Knocked Up era?
Oh, Knocked Up.
Yeah,
Didn't like it.
yeah. But all right. Well, Kelley, of course, where can people check out everything that you're doing?
Well, as long as they're nice,
Yeah,
they can find me.
and say what you want about the contestants, but leave Kelley alone.
Yeah.
All right.
You could talk trash about them all day. No, that's terrible. So it's Kelley Wentworth _ on TikTok because someone has Kelley Wentworth. I don't know who it
A
is. I can't get to
squatter.
the bottom of it. They were posting my videos and I had to report them.
Yeah.
But they had my name before I had my name because I couldn't get it when I first signed up for TikTok. But Kelley Wentworth _ and then on Instagram it's just Kelley Wentworth.
Oh, can I ask you the Jeff wig?
Hey!
Uh-oh.
Hold on 1 second. Enough. Cash.
Wow.
They get so
this-
spicy. They get so spicy. They're just like,
This is like yeah.
it's like having kids. It's not like having kids, but
No,
you know,
'cause
when your kids get in an
kids
argument, you're
listen.
like, whoa.
Yeah. The dogs listen.
Yeah, they stopped. Yeah.
But Kelley, your Jeff Probst wig.
Yeah.
Can I ask you what's the backstory on that? What kind of wig is it?
That
How do you find a
is-
Jeff Probst wig?
You go on Amazon
Yeah.
and you just type in men's brown wig. And then you order like 5 with, you're going to send them back, right? Because Amazon's return policy is great.
I take it all to Kohl's. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So whatever you need to do. So you order 5 and then you pick the best 2. So when you see me wearing a Jeff Probst wig, if it's one of the 2, you should know that those are the best of the 5 I got. So if you're questioning what I purchased, believe me, it was much worse.
Yes. Okay. I also admire that you are like doing something a lot of times where you're like making a sandwich. Like it's very natural.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I move with my hands a lot. And so sometimes I use a mini microphone and I have to not move with my hands because then it's like shaking and like sounds like I'm like breathing heavy into it. So I have to really be mindful of that. But the sound is better that way. But yeah, I just need some more humor. Like Traders was super fun. The Tom Sandoval content was endless. I mean, I could have done 50 videos on him.
What did you dress as Tom Sandoval?
Yeah, I did the one when he did the challenge with the phone and the singing.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorites. I was out in my yard. I was running. I think my neighbors think I'm nuts.
Yeah, I must not be on Trader Talk. I feel like I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I did it. It's pinned on my Instagram.
Okay. All right, I'll look at it.
Yeah, you got to look at it. It's fun.
Well, Kelley, thank you for making time to come on. I'm sure everybody appreciated it.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's
in
been a
the
while
YouTube-
since we caught up, so I'm glad.
Well, this was so nice. And in the YouTube comments, like, guess what? I'm going to delete it if you say anything mean about Kelley. Okay.
Yeah, just delete it. Yeah,
How
you
about
don't have to be here. That's one of the funniest things to me, Rob, is when people write mean comments and I'm like, okay, first of all, you write a mean comment. I'm going to now be in your algorithm. Now you're going to see more of me.
Right.
By the way. Number 2,
dummy.
Just keep it pushing. Like if I don't like something, I don't even waste my time writing something. I'm just like, oh, that was stupid. It's so funny. People just, whatever.
Haters.
I don't mind discussion. But like openly mean comments, it's just like,
yeah. Get lost. Touch grass.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, everybody, so much. Check out Club Condo today. Chappelle and I went there, and Brandon Donlin had a fun game that we played about some Survivor music.
Oh.
Yes.
What's that?
What inspired that?
What kind of Survivor music?
So what we talked about different musicians that are from Survivor. Maybe one of your Survivor San Juan del Sur castmates, Baylor Wilson, might have been mentioned. And we had to match the lyric to the correct Survivor musician. Plus much more. all the
Okay.
social media tea on Club Condo. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll be back on Wednesday night with Stephen Fishback to recap this next episode of Survivor. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.